Okay, let's start. Hey, question on Zig. Where do anonymous struct live when you take their address? They live, well, it depends on the context around you, but um, let's say that you are inside a function, that's usually where you are. They live in the function frame as temporary local variables. If you are instead in like outside of a function definition and you are like in I don't know what to call it, top level scope. Like if you are out here, then you can also take pointers to temporary variables and they are still global memory. But in a function, they are, sorry, no, I should be slightly more precise. Um, the let's say that the null hypothesis is that they are local variables in the function frame, but if the temporary variable is uh, fully constant, fully known at comp time, then it will be it will go through interning. So you know how you can take from a function, you can do this return foo, and it works because this string is not saved in the function frame, but it's actually um, global memory. And you can also do this. I don't know. You can also do this because this whole thing is a fully known constant, and this whole thing can be moved to global memory and deduplicated, etc. Um, but instead, if this is like maybe bar, and like if bar instead could be true or false and it depends on runtime conditions, then now this has to be a local variable and you're returning a pointer from a local variable, and that's bad. Do you happen to use DLS? I do. Yeah. I'm trying to use ZLS with a version of 0.14, but it tells me the ZLS requires at least 0.14.0. Yes, ZLS had a bug where it would wrongly assume that a dash dev version was lower than the non-dev version. So it's a bug that they fixed, I think, in 0.15. So be aware that 0.14 is kind of old, so you might want to switch to 0.15. But here's what you can do. Clone ZLS. So I'm guessing that the reason, or rather, I don't know how you're fetching ZLS, but if you clone it, you can check out the version that you like, and then you can go and change that line that has that check, and you basically comment it out, and you fix it. Oh, for Mac, okay. Well, you basically can clone ZLS and remove that check. It's just a silly bug in that version detection. Yeah, sorry. We forgot to update attributes for pictures in here. Let's go see if picture has attributes. Picture does not have attributes. So empty set. Okay. So we have implemented output and PRE. I forgot to update this number. So we're actually at 79 now. Let's go do progress. 2 attributes. Present content, but no progress element descendants. Yeah. Okay. Flow and phrasing. Flow and phrasing. Does it accept phrasing but no progress? Okay. Content. Simple. There we go. Phrasing. What did I say? Progress. Okay. So the attributes. Value and max. Okay, let's read also the description here. I don't care what it represents, blah, blah, blah. The value attribute specifies how much of the task has been completed, and the max attribute specifies how much work it requires in total. Units are arbitrary and non-specified. To make it a terminate progress bar, add a value attribute with the current progress, either a number from 0 to 1, or if the max value is specified, a number from 0 to the very max attribute. To make it the terminate progress bar, remove the value attribute. The value max attributes when present must have values that are floating point numbers. Yes. The value attribute, if present, must have a value greater than or equal to 0 and less than or equal to the value of the max attribute if present, or 1.0 otherwise. The max attribute, if present, must have a value greater than 0. So we're going to need to validate these bad boys. Hello, quick 33. So it's going to be max and the value. Yeah, something. Oh, that's what happened. Google borked my bork. I can't wait for the new IO stuff to come to Zig, so I'm gonna fix this thing once and for all. Once and for all. Okay. So this is done. And there are no other rules, there are no other attributes. So no, well, I mean, there could be interactions, but there doesn't seem to be any. Just a bunch of examples, which is cool. Done. 81. Not bad. We're making progress. So after Q, Ruby? No, we have RP, RT, and then Ruby. So I guess these guys are not in here, but they are going to be mentioned in here. PQRST. So RP. Categories none. Content model text. No special attributes, nothing weird. Okay. So how easy was Q? I think we can copy Q. Let's do RP and RT one after the other. Hey, Rocket Ranger, hello. So this is basically a none. But in content, we say extra well, very simple. And then we say extra children equals text. Now, the question is, how do we test extra children? Do we do the right thing? Do we do the right thing? Yes, we do the right thing. Almost. We almost do the right thing. Oh, fuck. Okay, but we do the right thing so far. And that's all that matters for now. Okay. Docs. Okay. This is not necessary. This is not necessary. This is not necessary. This is not necessary. This is how it should be. Let's go to RT. No. Why are you like this, man? You have it here also. Okay, actually, I'm not sure if RT is the same as RP in this sense, but we'll see in a moment. Probably not. I suspect that RT is more complicated. Watch it. Category is known. Content model phrasing. So this is different. Then okay. There we go. RP and RT done. 81, 83. Time to do Ruby, huh? Let's do Ruby so we can test them all together. Ruby is going to be more interesting because it requires us to... actually, probably it's not going to be too complicated. I might be wrong, but... Do Ruby. Flow phrasing, content model, C prose. Ruby Ruby element allows one or more spans of phrasing content to be marked with Ruby annotations. Ruby annotations are short runs of text represented along the... Okay, so the content model of a Ruby element consists of one or more of the following sequences. One or the other of the following. Phrasing content, but with no Ruby element and no Ruby element descendants. Okay. A single Ruby element that itself has no Ruby element descendants. Huh? What? One or more RT elements, an RP element followed by one or more RT elements, each of which itself is followed by an RP element. Once more, I have trouble understanding what the heck this thing is trying to say even. So phrasing content, but with no Ruby elements and no Ruby element descendants. So this is fine. Like you have a Ruby that contains phrasing content, fine. Then you have a single Ruby element. Sorry, consists of one or more of the following sequences. One or more of the following. I guess I need to recognize these guys. There's almost there's a concise way of expressing this idea that obviously they don't tell you, right? They leave it for you to figure it out. Like you have to turn this thing 90 degrees so that you can get like a decent algorithm out of it, but of course you're on your own. So one or more RT elements, so RT, then you find an RP element followed by one or more RT elements, each of which is itself followed by an RP element. So RTs, then maybe, so when you find an RP, it has to be followed by at least one RT, maybe more than one, but it has to be RT, RP, RT, RP, RT, RP. Why are these people like this? Okay, this is gonna be the next hour is gonna be implementing this freaking idiotic algorithm. I don't know, man. Well, what can I say? Something that has content validation. Up group, I think, is one of these bad boys. Yeah. It doesn't have attributes. Okay, categories, flow, and phrasing. That's it. Content model is I guess we should give it phrasing. Okay. There's no content reject. And now we need to implement validated content and completions content. Oh man, also completions is gonna be super fun to implement. I can already tell. Okay, now we have validate content and completions content. Whew. So this is because this guy needs to do attribute stuff, but in our case, there's no attribute work that we need to do, thankfully. So we can start from here. Okay. Then we need our state is basically, I guess, the current group that we're tracking. It's going to be phrasing. A single Ruby element that itself has no Ruby element descendants. So so I'm guessing basically when we see phrasing content, we need to validate that it doesn't have any of these guys. But then when we see a Ruby element as a child, it can be there because it's going to be this case. And there actually can be multiple Ruby children nested in our Ruby element. So we need to also but we need to validate them for not having Ruby element descendants, I guess. And then one or the other of the following. Then if we see RT, that's fine. But if we see RP, then it has to be followed by one RT or more. And that RT needs to be followed by one RP. God damn it, man. Okay. Okay. I think we can do it. Give me a sec. I'm going to get myself some tea and then we can start. Okay, let's do it. Okay, states. Phrasing. So it's going to be phrasing, Ruby, RT, and RP. But RP has like substates because it needs to be RP and then let's see, RP start and then RP RT and then RP RP, which might seem silly, but that's how it has to be. And then I don't know, none. Like we are not in any specific group. Although I guess we can start in at phrasing. Maybe we don't need none. Maybe we can repurpose phrasing. Let's see what happens. So we're looking at children. Yes. Oh, I think I know how this will have to look like. Maybe we're okay. For each child, go to the next child. If what's in the Ruby thingy? Right. Okay. So phrasing also covers text. So if it should be like this, switch child.kind. Triple underscore comment and text. Continue. There's nothing we need to do with them. Else we do the analysis. Okay, then we look at state and we say state is phrasing. Okay, if you are in the phrasing state, we need to switch child.kind. Yeah. So this will have to be like this. If it's Ruby, then we continue. Do we do the assignment in here? No, let's do the assignment on the receiver end. So let's do it like this. No, I changed my mind. Do the assignment here. Okay, so state is going to be dot. Oh, we're missing Ruby in here. Okay. And then similarly, if we see an RT, honestly, the fact that we see an RT, we might as well do nothing. Actually, RT as a state is useless. We don't need RT because we can stay in phrasing. Do nothing. Yeah. If we see RP, RP start. Perfect. If we see, oh, that's it. Else, anything else that we see, we need to validate for phrasing. And if so, we need to validate the sentence. Okay. And here's the interesting part. If we do Ruby, I guess we can copy this pretty much and say, okay, we're in the Ruby case, switch child kind. If it's Ruby, I mean, that's our default in a sense. So I'm going to gut it out, but we'll keep it. So if we enter the Ruby state, we are in the Ruby state. Actually, do we even need a Ruby state at this point? Because Ruby, it's like one set of validation. Yeah, you know what? We don't need... we do not need a state for it. Yeah. We do not need a state for it. Okay. Because we can do everything in here. That sounds good. Then the next thing is RP start, I guess. Also, there's no RT state anymore. No, but we do. Sorry, this is for child. So we keep that there. Yes. Phrasing. RP start. So if we see RP start and it's RP, we do nothing. If it's RT, state is RP RT. If we see anything else, could we see anything else? We only actually we only transition here for our... well, we see RP. We do another loop. So yeah, no, this is an error basically. So no continue because we're gonna fall through. Okay. RPRT. If we see an RT, we do nothing because there can be more than one. If we see an RP, no, actually there cannot be more than one. An RP followed, oh no, never mind, followed by one or more RT elements, each of which is itself followed by an RP element. Huh. Okay, so no, this is not an error then. This is more complicated. So RP start needs to see an RT. So never mind. RP start, if we see anything else, it is an error, but we don't consume it. We do add an error, but then we continue. I mean, does it even matter what we do at that point? No. We return an error, and I think that we should stop doing anything at that point. Okay, we are in RPRT. We must see at least one RTRP. So we move back here. No. We need an RP end, I think. We need an RP end where basically we say, okay, RPRT, state RPRT, this is an error. Actually, let me double check. So no, this is missing RT. This is double RT. So this is missing RP. Okay. And then if we do see on RP, that brings us to RP end. And in RP end, if we see an RT, then we are in another RPRT state. Otherwise, state is phrasing, I think. It's like our phrasing is our like catch-all state. And then we also continue to phrasing because we need to validate this child. And yeah, because basically we are at the end. This could have ended. There we go. Ah, this is delightful. I mean, not the algorithm that not the algorithm that the spec offers. That's ass. But the fact that we can pull this off is delightful. Yeah, this is what I was calling RPRP, sorry. But this is it, RP end. Okay, this is our logic, except that there's some more fancy nuance that must go inside phrasing. That's it though. Just finished the OS in 1,000 lines in Zig, and I must say the disk implementation is a mess. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I skipped the disk stuff entirely. I stopped earlier. I was interested mostly in the task switching stuff, so I did an adventure there. Okay, I think this is my delicious state machine. So let's fill out the errors and then we implement the missing stuff. This is interesting because well, we have missing child, but missing child is it's kind of wrong. So the problem right now is that we're missing something in a sequence of things, and this is where it should go, but it's kind of like I'm gonna use invalid nesting. That's the only element, the only error that I have for this. So we are RP start. So we after RP, there must be at least one RT. Okay, so double RT, invalid nesting. No, this should be duplicate child. Do we have duplicate child? I think we do. Yeah, with span and reason. Cool. Oh, and the span is the original child. Huh. So there would be nodes. Fuck, we don't have that. Oh, it's because it's not really a duplicate child. Really duplicate child. It kind of is, but also not really. I think we need to use invalid nesting. The problem is that if I put a random span in here, then we're gonna hand out wrong information, and we don't have an easy way of fetching the previous child. I guess this is state that we could save. So like as we go into the RPRT state, we save this span, and then we use it here. Actually, probably want to save the node index. Guess we can do this. Let's do it. There we go. So now when we switch to RPRT, we need to do child IDX. There you go. And now when we go here, we can do RT IDX. We can say span nodes RT IDX dot span. So we can complain. And the error is RT must be followed by one RP. Okay. And down here is also similar error at the end of the day because we were basically missing RP. And it's kind of the same thing, actually. You know what? I'm starting to think that there's no point in specializing that thing and calling duplicate child. And instead we use invalid nesting. Which means that we don't need this. Duplicate child, missing child, wrong position. We can use duplicate for that other one, but not for this one. I think that we need a different code. After duplicate child, I think we need something like wrong child sequence or wrong sequence. Wrong sibling sequence. Yeah. And so here we do wrong sibling sequence. Hey, Dimoroy. Thank you for the raid. Hello, everybody. Oh, this is going to be cool, but you need to give me a moment. So welcome, raiders. For those of you who don't know, yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. So for those of you who don't know, I'm working on a language server for HTML, which is the first of its kind. And not only it's the first of its kind, as in good luck finding another HTML language server, but also the tooling that is supposed to do this work tends to be incomplete. It doesn't implement all the rules. Understandably, those rules really suck. But, you know, I tried WebStorm, for example, and WebStorm is, you know, you pay for it it's specialized in doing web development, and it is better than VS Code. It does tell you things that VS Code doesn't tell you, but it's not as complete as what I'm doing. So I'm right now implementing all the weird rules for the Ruby element. So Ruby, I should not have clicked whatever I clicked. So Ruby is the HTML element that you can plop on ideograms. I wonder if it's really specialized on these guys. What if I do this? There we go. Oh, it also works on things that aren't. I mean, that's nice. But in any case, it allows you to put words on top of other words, which is most commonly used to give you, a simplified reading over ideograms or, other complicated thingies, words and similar stuff. And so it has complicated rules as to what you can put inside of it. It's not just a matter of, can you put this element or can you not put this element? Nope. The standard says that the content model of a Ruby element consists of one or more of the following sequences. One or the other of the following. Phrasing content. Phrasing content is any of these elements. So, most normal stuff, except divs. So div is like a block. The phrasing instead tends to be like text level content, roughly speaking. So phrasing content, but with no Ruby elements and no Ruby element descendants. A single Ruby element that itself has no Ruby element descendants. So we need to look into the children of our children to validate these rules. And then one or other of the following, one or more RT elements, an RP element followed by one or more RT elements, each of which is itself followed by an RP element. If you could not understand what the heck this thing is saying, it's normal because this is phrased horribly and it's confusing, and it's almost as if it's trying on purpose to hide what the algorithm should look like. Once you boil down all the rules, exactly what is the kind of checking that you should do. It's almost designed to obfuscate that for you. It's horrible, but in any case, I'm implementing it. I figure out what the state machine should look like, and now I'm designing my error messages. So if you stick around for a little bit more, you will see me complete this code, this function, and then I'm going to compile, switch to an HTML element, and we will be able altogether to see if the way I implemented it is correct or not, if it correctly reports errors when we're not respecting those rules. So that's what I'm doing right now. Okay, so we have wrong sibling sequence. RT must be followed by one RP. So this error message is done. RP end doesn't have any error because if we see another RT, then we go back to here. If we see something else, then we go back to the phrasing kind of catch-all state. In here, RP start. Oh, I got it wrong. This needs to go here. Okay, so phrasing, we see RP, we go to RP start. RP start, we do all this other dance. Okay. Here we need to provide the value. There you go. So that works. Okay, perfect. So this is all good. There is only one. Well, now the complicated part starts because this is the branch where we need to validate all descendants. So we also need to let me think about it for a second. We need to validate whether the current element is phrasing or a Ruby. is Ruby phrasing? Actually, Ruby is phrasing. Actually, I know because I'm writing in here. So Ruby is phrasing, so that's fine. So we have model rejects that we can use, but I wonder if we can reuse even more logic than that. So let me go for a second invalidate in AST. Validate nesting. So what are we doing? We're doing element.validate content. The problem is that if we call validate content on the Ruby element, then this is a problem. We could create simple. Yeah, the problem is that simple is not extracted as a function. So we could create a fake element for this though. I think that's what we should do. Okay. So I think we do it like this. Huh. It's not as simple. It really is not as simple, is it? Well, no. Okay, the way it works is that for each element, we check if it's phrasing. We can do model rejects. And then once we have the element, the problem is, what about its children? How do we test its children? And I guess we can call validate content on that guy, but no, we don't really want to validate its content. We just want to enforce our rule. I just want to look for Ruby elements. I think I have to implement this manually. Okay, so no metaprogramming tricks. Okay. So we just want model rejects, I guess. So we want to do can we do Ruby though? Let me think about it for a second because I think we might need to fake an element anyway though. Var const lm Ruby model is gonna be Ruby.model. Meta is gonna be category superset. Ruby.meta, right? The difference content and attributes is going to be the same also. But no, content is the one that changed, right? Yeah, content is now simple. No, you know what? Do I really need to do this? I think I don't have to. Give me a sec. Ruby.model rejects. Parent element. We have it. Nodes. Oh, but it wants all nodes. Oh no, but it's fine actually. Okay, nodes, source, parent node, that's parent. Parent span, descendant element, and then descendant runtime model. Yeah, no, unfortunately, this is grabbing stuff from the parent that we shouldn't grab. Specifically, actually, is it though? Let me double check. Meta extra region. Yeah, no, it's just doing model checking. So actually, this is correct because it's going to give us reasons. Okay, never mind. This is fine. Descendant runtime model child dot model. There we go. So that's how it is. What do you not like about this? Oh, no. Okay. Reason. Okay. And we continue in this case. So if there was no rejection, then now we need to look if this element, we need to look into these elements like children and see if we find a Ruby in there, basically. This is a song that says Ruby. So, okay, now we need a stop. So if, let's call it, let's do it like this. Const first descendant is child dot first child idx. Let's go first descendant idx, and then we say if first descendant idx is 0, then we continue. Otherwise, stop is gonna be child dot stop while var idx equals first descendant idx. Also, why do I need to do this? Okay, and here we're gonna need the increment logic that we don't have right now. But I'm gonna copy it from somewhere. And then what do we do? If child dot kind, well, actually descendant. If descendant kind is Ruby, then we complain. That's actually all we have to do. You know what? I guess actually our incremental logic can be just this. There you go. There we go. So this is the thing. This is it. Okay. YOLO. Okay, so auto completions are gonna be wrong. They're gonna be out of whack. You know what? We can do something like this. If true, return. So that we just that we don't get confused. Well, I'm gonna always return an empty list, so we don't see wrong stuff. Okay, so let's see. Ruby. Okay, if it's a B is allowed, a Ruby is allowed, but a Ruby with a Ruby inside is not allowed. Yeah, invalid nesting under Ruby. You don't see it here because Helix doesn't have it's missing some features. But this Ruby here is not pointing at this Ruby. It's pointing at this Ruby. Like if I do it here, so inside here also Ruby is not allowed. So both these guys have some metadata that again that Helix doesn't know how to show, but that you will see, for example, in VS Code, and both will be pointing at this Ruby here. Actually, you know what? Maybe we can take a look at this. Build WASM, VS Code, run the extension. Okay, so in here we do Ruby. Okay, perfect. And then here we do Ruby, and that's fine. But in here we do Ruby again. And now this is saying invalid nesting under Ruby. Cool. But if you look at this, this is saying invalid nesting under Ruby, and this is telling you what the other bad Ruby is. And if you can click on it, you see that the one on line 36 is highlighting. Man, I wish I could move this freaking window. But the one on line 36 is highlighting because this guy here corresponds to this guy. So also this one up top was being highlighted. It's just that we weren't able to see it. So yeah, because this thing is too freaking big. I'm gonna add some more spaces, I guess. So Ruby is now up here. Let's see if it highlights. I mean, if I click on it, I guess we get moved. The reason why it wasn't highlighting is because... Well, in any case, if you click on it, it works. So, I don't know. VS Code works in weird ways. In any case... So, so this is working. What other rules do we need to test inside of Ruby? So, deeply nested Rubies are bad, so we know that. And we see that correctly. What if I nest another Ruby inside of this Ruby? Yeah, okay, so it also complains about being nested under Ruby, so that's awesome. Okay, so a B we said is fine. One level of Ruby is fine. RT is fine. And we can have how many of those we want. We can put it and put them anywhere as long as we are inside Ruby. But if there is an RP, then nothing complains. That's a problem. Why are we not complaining? We're missing something. Oh, I know what we're missing. We're missing exit checks. So ending in phrasing it's fine. But ending in RP start means that we're missing an RT. And ending in RPRT means that we're missing an RP. So these two states are problematic states that we need to make errors for at the end of the loop. So let me copy these error stuff. And this is the thing. This is the switch. This is the while loop. So in here we say switch state. And if it's RP start or RP RT, then we need to complain. And I think we need two different messages. Missing RP. This is missing RP. This is missing RT, I think. Well, in any case, let's see. RP start. We're missing RT. So if we're in RP start, then we say wrong siblings sequence. No. Missing child, I think. Is it missing child? Yeah, missing child. No span, no reason, and we just say .rt. I think this is fine. Main location is... Oh, this is interesting. Maybe, you know what? Maybe instead of missing child, no. This should be still in wrong sibling sequence. But I think the problem is that we should have access to the RP index, which currently we don't have. So we can do this. We can say RP must be followed by one RT. And then here we can say that this is going to be nodes. Well, actually, yeah, what is the main location? Okay, let me think about it. Where should this error show up? I think it should show up at the location where the sibling is. So it should show up here. I guess we use this twice. So you know what? We might as well just compute it once. Yeah. And I guess we basically want to do the same here for the other one. So I'm going to copy this. RT-RP. Okay. What is it called? RPRT. Oh. So we're in RPRT, and it means that we're missing RT. We see RP index. Wait, RP start. Oh, it's also an RP index. Interesting. No, wait a second. RPRT is when we see the RT, isn't it? Yeah. So no, this is the RT index. Okay. And RT must be followed by one RP. Okay, so we were missing this error reporting, and then else we do nothing because those are valid exit states. but we're missing tracking the RP index. So we do it in RP start. Yeah, U32. So we go in RP start. We do this. Okay, what's the next error? Oh, yeah. We actually don't care about the wasn't build. Do the normal build. Okay. Now it should. Now we left this RP without anything afterwards, so now it should complain correctly that we're missing an RT. There we go. Wrong sequence sequence. RP must be followed by one RT. Okay, we add it. Wrong sibling sequence. RT must be followed by one RP. Yeah. Oh, and now we're good. The problem is that we're not really. Unfortunately, our error messages kind of imply. They seem to imply that this is gonna be a sequence that it's never gonna break, right? Because it says, wait, RP must be followed by one RT. Okay, so RT must be followed by one RP. But now we're good. I think we need to change the error message for RP start. For RP start, we should say something different. RP start, we should say. The first RP of a sequence is followed by RTRP. Yeah. There we go. Let's see how this feels. Run CPU sequence. The first RP of a sequence, I'm going to change this of a group, must be followed by RTRP. There we go. Okay. We have it. We now have good error reporting. So this is it. Now, what do we do with auto suggestions? So how would autocomplete work? How would autocomplete work? I guess it depends on the state that we're in, right? It's either phrasing. It's either phrasing. So, well, we have to copy this logic basically. Okay, let's see. Yes, either nodes. We don't care about the parent span. We do care about our state. We do not care about these indices. We do care about var first kind after offset. Guess we set it to root. And then we say if child.open.start is greater than offset, then first kind after offset is going to be child.kind, and then we break. Okay. Then we're looking at all these states. So we need the state transitions. We don't care about the payloads, so we take them out. Actually, do we even care about continuing? Maybe. We don't care about model rejection. Which means that this gets flattened into the else case. In RP start, we don't care about the errors, so that also means that that thing gets flattened. We only care about the state transitions. Also here, no payload. Also here, no payload. Yeah, I don't think we really care about this. Let me think. So if you see RP, we go to RP start, and yeah, yep. Okay. Okay, so these are our state transitions. And basically, after we're done transitioning, we know where we're at, basically. And now, depending on the state and what's after us, we need to decide what to do. So, we're going to start this again from scratch, I guess. So, state, phrasing. If we're in the phrasing state, we can pretty much do anything. So we should do this. Actually, in phrasing and RP end, we can suggest anything. So we return element.simpleCompletions arena. Prefix is going to be .rp and rt. I think it's rt.rp. Should we also suggest Ruby? I think we should also suggest Ruby. And then parent content is, well, ruby.model.content. Parent reject is nothing. And simple is the default one. Okay, so these are the two states where we can recommend pretty much anything. Then if we are in... so these two guys are the problematic ones. In RP start, we have seen an RP and we're waiting for an RT. But the question is there already one right after? What should we do if there is one right after? Should we not suggest anything? Should we not suggest RT because there's already one? No, I think that the intent of the user is then to sneak in, like to put in the middle more RP-RT elements. So we should allow RT. Yeah, so in RP start, I think it should be like this. So in RP start, we only suggest RT. Actually, single line is fine. And in RP-RT, we only suggest RP. I think this is it. Also, you know what? Let's collect the return. Okay. What's the problem, man? Unused source. Okay. You good now? You good. Okay, let's see. After RP, it suggests RT. The first RP of a group must be followed by RT RP. Okay. RP. Anything. Not bad. Yeah, perfect. Okay. I would say this is perfect. We have it. We have it. This is it. This is the implementation of Ruby. Nasty. Really nasty. But like their set of rules that they have. But at the end of the day, we can make it work and we can provide also not only our checking, but also decent decent auto completion. Not bad. Okay. Element. This is done. Attribute. Empty set, apparently. $84. What's next? S. The S element. What does that even do? I don't remember. Oh, it's a strike through. Okay. Makes sense. Okay, so well, this guy is gonna be super simple. Super simple. Should we copy Q? I think we can copy Q. No, actually, I'm doing these things out of order. S. That. No attributes. Actually, I don't know if it has attributes, but I think it doesn't. Okay. No special attributes. Yeah, we need to go to S. Hello X Doom. Happy September to you as well. Phrasing content. I bet you that it's gonna be in there. S. Flow phrasing and accepts phrasing. Flow phrasing accepts phrasing. This is it. This is the S element. $85. Okay, temp. Flow phrasing, no special thingies. Guess what? SAMP is gonna be turbo copied from S. Also, this is not needed. This is not needed. This is not needed. Let me go do that also for this guy. Not needed, not needed, not needed, not needed. There you go. Okay. So SAMP. Flow phrasing, phrasing. Flow phrasing, phrasing. Perfect. Copy. And we're good. SAMP, empty set. Perfect. 86. We started at 77, by the way, today. We are at 86. It means that we did, we're almost at 10 elements. And one of those wasn't simple, like Ruby did require work. So not bad, I would say. Really not bad. Script. Oh, script. So I expect script won't have any content rule because it's just JavaScript. So for us right now, it's like foreign content basically. So we don't care about it. But it has attributes. And I bet you that these attributes have real rules about what they can be. Although let's see, content model. If there is no source attribute, depends on the value of the type attribute, but it must match the script content restrictions. If there is a source attribute, the element must be either empty or contain only script documentation that also matches script content restriction. What is script documentation? Of the following A, B, and the character set for which is Unicode. So it's a comment. Yeah, space. Okay, documentation is a sequence of space, sub, comment, line, comment, new line. So it can only contain comments. So we're not going to implement this now. But this is crazy. By the way, this is another situation where multi-line comments, which are a scourge upon humanity, are making things more complicated than they need to be. Because you need to have this freaking grammar, which you wouldn't need to have if you just had line comments, by the way. But, okay, so I think that what we're going to do is leave this as a to-do, basically. Yeah, so metadata flow phrasing. So who do we copy? Somebody whose attributes need validation. So progress is going to be it. Content is valid. We really don't need to validate it, really. Okay, categories we're saying is metadata flow phrasing. Okay, attributes, dynamic validation, I guess. We'll see. The type attribute allows customization of the script type represented. So let's see the rest of things. The second core attribute is the source attribute. It must only be specified for class scripts and JavaScript module scripts, and denotes that instead of using the element's child text content as the script content, the script will be fetched using the specified URL. If source is specified, it must be valid on empty URL, potentially surrounded by spaces. So This is the validation for source itself. Let's see which other attributes may be specified on a given script. The pen element is determined by the following table. Oh, it's been a while since we've seen one of those, huh? Man, I almost feel nostalgic. Look, one of them is even dead. Unlike cross-origin and referral policy, fetch priority does not affect module imports. For some discussion, see some discussion in issue something. Okay. So yeah, we totally need a dedicated function because we need to do like these grouped validation stuff. There seem to be this seem to be something that works best by row. So for example, eternal classic scripts, all of them are allowed. I think that the last time we were going by column, right? We were saying we were doing attribute by attribute. Was it like this? I remember that we were going by column, but I think, you know what? I think that the table was organized differently. Well, you know what? In any case, I think we can figure this out on our own. We don't need necessarily to refer to the old stuff. So, well, attributes. That's where we start. So, type. And what is type? Omitting the attribute, setting it to the empty string, or setting it to the Java meme type essence match. Huh? For one of the JavaScript meme type essence strings. Okay, so we have these bad boys. Okay, we have these bad boys. Means that the script is a classic script to be interpreted according to the JavaScript script level production. Authors should omit the type attribute instead of redundantly setting it. Interesting. That's not what people do. I've seen the type being defined a ton in the past. Setting the attribute to the ASCII case insensitive match for module means that the script is a JavaScript module script to be interpreted according to the JavaScript module top level production. Import map means that the script is an import map containing JSON that will be used to control the behavior of module specifier resolution. Setting the attribute to any other value means that the script is a data block, which is not processed by the user agent, but instead by author, script, or other tools. Authors must use the valid meme type string that is not a JavaScript meme essence match to denote data blocks. Okay, so it's basically a list of option plus meme. But what do we put in those lists? In that list, that's a question. So module was one of those. Yeah. Then we want to have meme in here. What was the wording used to denote? A data block which is not processed by the user agent, but instead by author, script, or other tools. But instead by author script. What does author script means? Okay, what about the JavaScript ones? Do we mention them? Or do we consider them part of the meme stuff? They still should have special validation. Now, you know what? Let's just consider them meme stuff because they also happen to be valid meme stuff. So I'm going to leave them as meme. So it's what are the other two special values? Module and import map. Okay, let's do the description of this thing. Type. There we go. Okay. So let's do module and import map. Import map. Module. Okay. So we have this. Now we need validate type with the meme stuff. Oh, we have dot meme, which calls validate meme. Perfect. No, this is not perfect. Because this validate meme is one that accepts all these attributes, and we don't have all these things at our disposal inside of a list thing. God. Okay, we can turn this though into the other one. That's good. Yeah. Okay, we can do this. Yeah, let's do this. Oh, but if we turn it into a rejection, now we need more than just an offset. Now we need window span. Okay, we're gonna need a little bit of refactoring to make this work. Okay, we need to go into list, and we need to say that this guy, a value rejection, contains a start and an end. I guess we can call it span at this point. Yeah, something like this. Okay, now we fucked up a bunch of code that was using this stuff. So we need to fix it. Also, we need to give this guy the new signature. So the new signature is just a value. Just a value. But what if we give you a start to produce good values without us doing as much math? Yeah. Okay. You also get a offset. So validate meme doesn't get that. Maybe it should though. Oh shit, it does need a GPA. Yeah. Yeah, we have to complicate this function a little bit. There's just no way this time. We have to. Is this gonna work? Am I gonna be able to translate this? Ooh, sheesh. You know what? I take everything back. Oh shit, this is a bit too much. Yeah, you know how it's gonna be? We set it as a list. We lie here, and we do this. Or, oh, here, there we go. Yeah, we just need to add manual there, I guess. There we go. This way we don't have to lie. We can document it here. It's just tested manually. And if you attempt to test something manually, then it's a problem. Um, we're calling match. Mm, match. I guess. No, I think we should assert at this point. Yeah, I think this is more clear. Okay. What is the element that we're looking at? That was script, right? So the rule is manual for type. Okay, let's ignore the other attributes for now. Fine. We collect all the attributes. Yes. Okay. Okay, so so it all starts with type if it's present. So const type is going to be an enum that contains a few options. So I don't know, classic JS, I don't know, module, meme, something like this. And so this is like if authors at dot comp time index type, and great. Else, I don't know, it's going to be dot JS or something. If you omit it, it's supposed to be JS, right? So it should be something like this. Also, this can be called type. So type value. Okay, and in here, we say after the value, or else although this was saying that the attribute value missing is not an error. It sucks, but they do say that if it's that, it's not an error. It's this. Okay. And now we need to first match it against known values, and second, match it against meme if matching against known values doesn't work. So we were saying that it's either module map something import map. Honestly, we might as well just do the validation in here. So if std ascii dot equal ignore case value slice and module, or well, if it's this, and break with dot module, and then okay, and then lastly, it's the lastly is the meme case. Although this is where things get sucky, because it actually should still be JS if the meme match is one of the JS ones. And that goes because that has an impact here. It has an impact here. So we need to recognize those especially. So I guess we need to make a list for those, no matter what. Um, might as well make a set for them. Void set. We want a void set. No, we want a normal set. Wait, we have a set and a map, and they're both the same fucking thing. Why am I like this? Where am I using map? Named. It's okay. Init sometime. Yeah. Honestly, you know what? We don't even want any one of those. We want well, we want it to be void. We want an actual set for real. Okay. Time to copy that list of thingies. So gimme. Archive meme, XML meme, HTML meme, scriptable meme. Whose essence? What is an essence? Why is there an essence? Um, I don't know. In any case, this is our JS set. So if JS set dot has value slice, do we do the it doesn't accept spaces, doesn't it? It doesn't. We shouldn't strip spaces. Yeah, I don't think we strip spaces in this case. Okay, since we do not strip spaces, then this break plk with .js. Okay, and then finally we have the final test. So if attribute dot validate meme GPA errors source node index and utter. Oh shit, and it doesn't tell us. It doesn't tell us if it's valid or not. Dude, are you serious? Well, that is a problem. So let's make this return a bool. Now return true if an error was if at least one error was found. There we go. But now we can't do return errors.append, huh? Technically, we could look at the length of, you know what? we don't do this, and we just look at the length of error. Okay, so these are the possible values of type. So we have validated type. Now we need to validate everything else. So let's look at the table. We need to make an array of booleans, and then we set it accordingly, I guess. And we do that per state. So we go by row. So attributes.len. There's also type. Should we skip type? No, I think we should leave it there and then we skip it afterwards, I guess. Attributes.len of booleans splatted false. And then we say switch actually we can do better than splatted false. We can splat it type value equals JS. So that if it is JS, it puts all trues already. If it's something else, we're gonna do something else. Also, oh, we need to distinguish between these two cases. So, okay. We do nothing. JS, we do nothing. Module import map mime. Case of mime, it's a splat false. Not list.len. Also import maps. Interesting. Okay, these two guys are splat false. These other guys are more complicated. Okay, but we need to also distinguish these three. So this is module. What one is inline, one is external. And I guess this is based on the presence of source, right? uh, source. Oh, so this is a second thing that we need to look into, and then it's not part of that table. Okay, I think we should do it like this. And I think the source should be the first thing. Source rule is URL not empty. We don't have a description for it yet, but we can put it there. And we look also at source. So we look at type, and then we look at source. Which I guess we can consider a Boolean, whether about whether it's present or not, because we only do error reporting. We only pointed it in this context here, yeah. Utters at attribute dot comp time index source else false. So if it is present, we need to validate it. Value equals no, I deleted it from above. Atter value or else break VLK true. GPA tag is missing utter value. Okay, with this we have the value, and then we need to validate it. So all these attributes. Okay, then we call the validation function and we break VLK true. Okay, with this we have shadow function parameter from outer scope. Oh, are we happy, or did we fuck up everything else? Yeah, we fucked up everything else. It's unfortunate. I guess we can just call it source value. Actually, yeah, there was nothing else that we needed to rename it to. Anyway, okay, source value. Also, wait a second. Why did I try to grab the value if we have these validation already? You know what? Never mind. This is not necessary. We just do this like this. Yeah, it's easier. Okay. And now we have this. So we default on external classic scripts. External, I'm guessing source is defined. Yeah. To be honest, these guys have a lot on, so we could, you know what? Let's just set it based on source value being true. And then, and you know what? We can change this to external. There you go. External true. And then this is done. This guy needs two things turned off. So in module, we do we switch on, it's these two cases. Right. So in this case, we need to turn off these two. So it's like this. If external, so here, turn off no module and defer. And what's the other one? Defer. Else, if this is false, and now everything is false, then we set to true these three guys. What's these stars? Okay. So async. Async cross origin and referral policy. Okay, so this is done. Then we're missing only JS. And in JS, we only care if it's not external, because if it's external, we already done it. If it's not external, no module, cross origin, and referral policy. Let me double check. In this case, everything is set to false, and we need to set to true these guys. Yes. Okay. So we have this. Now, finally, we can do this. For matters 2 dot dot allowed 2 dot dot. We can do stuff. So utter, this is maybe utter. Or else the other is not present. Is it necessary? Is any of these attributes mandatory? Unlike proxy scripts, module scripts require the use of the course protocol for cross-origin fetching, but that does not mean that it is mandatory. I think cross-origin is not necessary. Let's test this. Okay. Now, this should complain that we're missing source, I think. Actually, no. It should not. Yeah. Um, let's see now. Okay, so this is fine. Out of curiosity, what if this becomes fruit slash banana? Now this should complain, maybe, actually. No, because source can be specified always, but like, for example, async should be not specifiable, right? I want to see it complain about async. It does not. Really? Okay, that is weird. So what were the rules here? I'm gonna say import map. What if I do import map? There we go. As a script element with a type whose attribute is import map must not have a source attribute. And I think the mimic case is the same. Hmm. It must only be specified for class scripts and JavaScript module scripts. So JS and module is the only one. JS and module is the only one that can have external. So in these guys, okay, here, so if external valid attribute combination, and the combination is requires type to be omitted or indicate JavaScript being a type. So this closes that. Dot main location. What's the main location? Oh shit, we don't have that. You know what? These can actually be done elsewhere. We don't have to do it here because we can do it in here. Yeah, this is a much better location where to do this. And you know what? If we have this error, I think we need also to return. because then we have a weird state for the rest of the validation that might make no sense. So there we go. Although, no, I think everything will be, you know what? No, everything will be fine. We can do that. Okay. So with this, we can say, maybe attribute or else. Let's continue because apparently there are no mandatory attributes, it seems. So, no, right, we wanted to see the course stuff for external modules. So in this case, this is fine. Bad value banana for cross origin. Okay, so cross origin can be defined, but it's not required to be defined. Okay. So if not allowed, then I guess we can switch. Or I guess we can not allowed with the current state of type and source. This can be improved in the future. Okay, and then capture allowed show. Oh, there you go. And then we validate. Okay, and with this we are done. So this is the validation stuff. Now we only need to fill out all the possible attributes. Just go to MDN and let's start filling them out. So let's start with source. Oh, I hate this. Okay. Type. Indicate the types. script represented. If this script element is meant to contain JavaScript code, aka classic script, you can safely omit this attribute. Perfect. Then all the other ones. Okay, let's look at them from here. I guess we want async defer policy. Sorry, async defer blocking. I think these are the first three ones that we want. So async defer and blocking. And then I guess we can do this guy. I guess we can do we can sort them alphabetically. Also, what is this sorting here? Anyway, so cross origin. The course thing, do we have it? Oh man, yes, we do have course. It's course, right? Cross origin is course. Okay, I didn't dream that up. Refer policy. Oh man. Oh, we do it this way. There we go. Oh, right. Because this attribute is a referrer policy, but it's not always called referrer policy. There's also the funny thing. Okay, referrer policy, integrity, and fetch priority. Okay, let's see. Integrity. Requirements of the integrity attribute. Oh no, it's another parser. It's another weirdo parser thing. God damn it, man. This is gonna be a big fat to do for future self. Yeah. Fetch priority is a fetch priority attribute. What's a fetch priority attribute? It's an enumerated attribute, high, low, auto. I think we have these already, don't we? Yeah, look at this. You know what? I'm thinking we should pull this out. There we go. Okay. Nonce. Nonce? Nonce? What? There's no nonce here. Why are these freaking things out of sync this way? I don't know. Okay, let's start filling out the ones that we don't know about. No module. Copy. Oh, you know what? I think I forgot about no module. Okay, so refer policy goes down here. Fetch priority goes here. Integrity. The attribute must not be specified when the source attribute is absent. Yeah, I think we are kind of getting that for free from this system. Okay. Fetch priority. Well, we don't need that. Defer. Nonce is a global attribute. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Why is MDN like this, though? I don't get it. Okay, let's go. The first longest description I've ever seen in my life. Okay. Okay. Um. Next, cross origin. Okay. Blocking is not. Oh, right. Blocking is the one that has render. Oh, God. Okay. So we're missing async now. Attribution source. Specify if you want the browser to send an attribution reporting eligible header along with the script resource request. On the server side, this is used to trigger sending an attribution reporting register source or attribution reporting register trigger header in the response to register a JavaScript based attribution source or attribution trigger. What is this shit? Useful if you want to store source data in response to custom interaction, for example, clicking a custom element or submitting a form. Huh? Hmm. Should we copy also the rest of the stuff? You know what? No, I'm gonna leave it at that. Okay, with this, we should have everything. Truly delightful. Truly, truly delightful. But despite everything, we have it. We have script. Whew. What a pain. Script in some ways was more of a pain than Ruby, even though Ruby had all the weird nesting rules. Whoa. Search. Oh god, search. Now watch search have 3 bajillion attributes, all mutually exclusive. Baseline 2023 newly available. What? Okay. Um Flow content. Search. Flow. Flow. No attributes. Delightful. Wait, so it's a useless element, right? Because it's not an input element. It's just a stupid semantic web element that should tell you that this form is a search form. Sure. Okay, so I guess we copy it from SAMP, maybe. flow, flow, flow. That's it. Okay, copy the docs. There's another search somewhere. I saw it. Okay. $88. Not bad. Oh my god, look at this. We are pretty much at the final screen. This is the final screen. Well, there's only one element below it, but we're almost at the end. Now, section is gonna be easy, I think. Select is gonna be fucked up. Selected content, I don't know. Slot should be easy. Small, easy. Span, easy, easy. Oh god, I hope easy. Easy. Easy? Easy? Table! Oh no, table! No! Table is gonna be fucked up. T-body, TD. Yeah, I don't know. The table stuff is gonna be probably weird. Template should be easy. Text area. Easy, I think. T-foot, TH, T-head, time, title. Okay, we should be, we're doing well. We're doing fine. Section. What section? Section is flow, and that's it. No attributes, no nothing. Oh, flow, sectioning, of course. Palpable, fine. So flow. I was right. Let's go. So search and section are basically the same thing. They're both semantic web elements that do absolutely nothing. $89. $89, man. $89. Select. Flow, phrasing, interactive, bunch of other ones that we don't care about. Phrasing content. Content model, 0 or more button elements if the select is a drop-down box. How do I know if it's a drop-down box? I guess we'll see from the attributes maybe. Followed by 0 or more select inner element, inner content elements. Okay, so this is where things become a little bit more spicy, huh? Select. Let's see, autocomplete disabled, form, multiple, name, required size. Okay, how do I know if it's a drop-down box? A select is either a list box or a drop-down box depending on its attributes. A select element whose multiple attribute is present is expected to render as a multi-select list box. If multiple is absent and whose display size is greater than 1 is expected to render as a single select list box. The problem with display size is that for us, it's problematic. We don't know how to calculate display size because we never tracked whether they are palpable content, I think. Is the result of applying the rules for parsing non-negative... Oh, never mind. Non-negative integers to the value of the element's size attribute. Okay, never mind. If I assume it was based on its children, instead it's based on an attribute, or the size attribute is absent, then the element display size is 4. This is a random 4. Okay. If the element multiple attribute is present and 1 otherwise. Okay. To get a list of options, then given a select element. Okay, so there's a size attribute, and that's what we look at. Yeah, size of the control. Okay. Okay. So we can do this. Oof. This is nasty though. So this fucking guy has attribute validation rules that interact with children validation rules. This is super nasty. The good news is that those don't change the categories that it belongs to. That's the good news. So it means that we can have attribute validation. We can delay attribute validation until we are checking for children. And so in one swoop, we validate both attributes and also we, validate children. This guy is a behemoth because, this basically requires us to do, usually for an element, they are annoying because they either have weird complicated rules about attributes or weird complicated rules about their children. This guy is giving us basically both at once. So here's what I'm going to do. Since I have a meeting later today, I think I'm going to stop here. Usually I go on for an hour more, but today I started earlier and we did make good progress. So basically I'm stopping here and I'm going to implement select, I guess, on my own as I relax and as I free my brain and I'm able to, fully absorb the delightful complexity of select. I think this is what I will do. But not bad. We are 89. And with the next one, we're going to be at 90. Yeah. Almost 80% done. We are almost there. Man, we're finally getting there. Ooh, what a gauntlet, man. What a gauntlet. Let me see if anybody is doing Zig on Twitch. Nobody. Wait, Lucas Develops doesn't have the Zig tag, but is doing Zig, apparently. So I'm going to send you all to Lucas Develops. Yeah, sorry, but we're making progress. Next few days, we are going to reach 115 and we're going to be done. Can't wait for that. Let me raid Lucas Develops. So everybody, have a nice day, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.